Good day everyone, welcome to a new video. This is Crypto Michael and I'm providing daily TA videos on the crypto and equity markets, and if you like my content please subscribe or reply beneath this video. I always appreciate if you are sharing your feedback or just your own view. Today we are going to discuss what's going on with the Bitcoin markets, as the equity and Bitcoin markets are dropping, but not gold and silver. We're going to discuss Bitcoin, we're going to discuss Ether, we're going to discuss Ontology again, as that's the one that's volatile here. And we might be checking some on Elrond. So, what we see today is that we have a corrective day, and I wanted to point out the higher time frame, as the majority of the people are fixated at watching the smaller time frames, through which they are completely missing the overall view of the markets, which is in this case quite bullish. We have still had a nice liquidation below the previous low, in which we reclaimed that level and started to moon, and since the halving we have been acting inside this range. Now, what we see is that during this range the volatility is draining down and the price has been acting in a narrow and more narrow range. Yesterday a nice upwards move from 9.2 to 9.698, and today we get a Bart Simpson back into support, but the overall construction is still remaining intact, in which we assume that since the crash on March 12th we are in an upwards trend. So is there any reason to be completely in fear or panicking given that the markets are showing some weakness? No, you shouldn't. But there are some signs we should be aware of, and we're going to discuss that in this video. So when we have this 2-day pattern here and we go towards the chart that I've been using since the previous weeks, and we use the 4-hour time frame, you see that we are still this one has actually adjusted a little bit, but can use it. You can actually see that we've had a push upwards previously, breaking this slight downtrend, as we can measure here. We broke that downtrend, rallied upwards, and now we could not hold the previous high for support, in which we dropped down. And given that there is no significant support further, I was assuming 9.4 could be one, but it's a smaller time frame support level. You could be checking that this whole area around 9.2, 9.3 is basically support. So given that we've had a nice push to the upside, we did not hold the previous resistance for support, which is causing this drop down, and which is causing this the price of Bitcoin to drop below and drop towards the next support level. So what do we want to see in case of any bullish perspectives? Well, in any case of bullish perspectives, you want to see this level hold, in which we continue to make movements inside this range. What could happen is that we get a bounce up towards 9.4. After that we are going to take the liquidity beneath here, just a copy of this move but then below this level, and then reclaim the level of 9.3 again for support. If we get such a move, the crucial part is that we continue hanging around 9k and then break back upwards above 9.3, and then you got your confirmation that we're going to test the range high again, and at some point we're going to see volatility. So right now we're just in support, which is okay. Only weakness is that we have been testing this support for many times, which brings me towards the bearish scenario, which is that if we can't break 9.4 and we're testing the support again and get a bearish rejection at 9.3, it seems likely that we're going to continue retracing, which is short-term bearish, but long-term actually still bullish. Even if we retrace to 7k, which is a likely scenario. You know that I'm always making two scenarios, in which if we lose 9.2, that's going to be causing some more bearish perspectives in general, and then I'm assuming we might be consolidating towards 7.5k. If we lose this support level and make a bearish rejection in the 9.2 level range, the first level I'm assuming we're going to be testing is 8.8. More generally, the next range low, which is between 8.2.5 and 8.5, and then still we've got an untested level here, which is around 7.7, and usually you will get this as a structure then. So then we wick to 7.4. As we see right now, we are actually bouncing a little, so that's great. So what you should be watching, I'm not generally trading this trend. People would say that we have broken this rising wedge structure downwards. A bearish rejection of 9.4 could say that we're going to continue dropping down. But what you want to see is if we lose this level and we continue hanging at 9k, if we get a bearish retest at 9.3 and start to show weakness and acceleration and increase of volume, if we hold here and bounce back up at 9.3, the retest of 9.3 could be a nice entry for a potential long. So that's basically what you're watching here, and still we are inside the range structure, which is just boring. We need to get a clear direction on the markets, which we could be getting in the next month. So that's generally my view on Bitcoin. I don't believe that there's much changed. You usually see these movements occur in the markets, and that's not bad. We've seen them occur in this period as well. Just up and down movements. I would be even surprised if we get a bounce to 9.5 tomorrow. But yeah, that's my view on Bitcoin. Then if we assume Ethereum, we know that we've had a resistance test of 250. Let's see if I can get. No, let's just use this one. We got a resistance test at 250, just similar as the movements we've seen here. Heavy retracement after touching the resistance, nice rally up, another touch of resistance, and after that a consolidation before compression and a breakout above this resistance is going to occur, which seems inevitable or likely here to occur as well, as I believe that Ethereum is currently in a more bullish perspective than Bitcoin. And if you look at it through just a linear chart and the compression we got here, I do enjoy the structure more. Despite the drop down we have right now, you want to see some bullish engulfings tomorrow generally, but it is inside a range and there's no clear direction, but it's looking more bullish than Bitcoin at this point. And you see the exact same occur as on Bitcoin. Broke above the resistance, couldn't hold the level, broke beneath, and now we're going to test whether the support level is going to hold for support, through which you don't generally want to see the price drop below 225 to 228. So what you might be expecting on the short-term perspective on Ethereum is a bounce up, another one, and then you can see more clarity on the markets, or maybe confirmation on smaller time frames, bullish divergence patterns. But overall, we're just inside the structure that we are actually consolidating here. The level to watch right now is basically based on the previous price action, which is 238. If we reject there a structure like this, it's likable that we're going to test the lows again and test the 225 to 28 levels for support. Alright, then Ontology, which is trending up significantly and still doing pretty much fine. I'll just erase a few of the marks that I've made here. We've made a nice upwards breakout following the plan we have been stating for a few weeks, and now you generally don't want to see it lose the previous OB, so we are retracing inside support. You don't want to see it close below this level, so we might get a wick and close above, just like we have done here. Overall, this is the area you don't want to see lose, in which we make another higher low, and that would fuel another further upward surge on the price. So nice breakout here. The entry was actually gone already, as I've been pointing out. There's two, this is one, and right now we're looking for another buy the dip opportunity here. If we hold here, I'm assuming we're going to test the resistance, and breakout of resistance will point us towards either of these two levels here. On BTC, going as planned, we broke out. Might wick into this level here, so we might even drop towards 610. But overall, this consolidation is fine. Nothing goes up in a straight line despite the stock markets. So you want to see this hold here, and if we do, then we can continue rallying. So this is just a pure support resistance flip or retest before continuation. Then we get towards ERD, which is basically, oh, I've erased it, that's fine. We have been discussing this one on the live stream, in which we can clearly say that it's rejected at resistance, which is the final hurdle before price discovery. And based on the fact that it's broken above this level and generally just consolidating here, should indicate that we might get a longer retrace on Elrond before we continue. We know that there is always a longer retrace before continuation, which is not bad, which means that I'll be heavily interested if we get a retrace going on. As you can see, we've got a range low at 15 to 18, we've got a range high at 31 to 35, now we've got a range high at 57, 61. So based on the daily time frame, I'm assuming that we've rejected again here, and I'm going to look for entries here, in which a potential entry in a wick here would be the best. But I'm not assuming I'm going to get, so I'm going to scale in this zone here. If we flip this, we can get a period of sideways consolidation again, probably faster than the previous one, as this is accumulation and this is the new impulse wave. If we break out of this range above 60 sets, thank you, can I find it, or what is this? There we are. Then we can assume that the next rally might bring us towards 109 and 171 as we use the Fibonacci extension tool. If we do the exact same thing here, we can see that 95 is the same. So probably the range between 95 and 110 is the first real target zone. If we check the 4-hour time frame, we can see the exact same occurrence as on Silica here. Level tested, previous OB tested here, rejected at resistance, continuation downwards, another rejection at resistance, drop further down, and then you clearly come down towards either the support resistance flip or the OB we've got here, which is now marked as support. After that, a rally upwards to the previous resistance level, which is this OB or the resistance level here, rejected, and now we've got a nice range construction in which this area is your long entry. You don't want to see it lose that zone. This confirmation is actually a confirmation that we might be attacking the resistances here. Breakout above here, and we're going to attack either of these two resistances. If we lose support, then this is your clearly next entry. Alright, I hope this video has been helpful for you. It's a short 12-minute video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel, like this tweet, or reply beneath with your own view or your feedback. And I'll see you tomorrow with a video on Silica and Tomo Chain.